hate outside. I hate it. I hate it.
We're gonna be all right, don't worry.
The 1970s unleashed sci-fi films so disturbing that governments banned them entirely. These movies tackled rape, cannibalism, mind control, and social collapse through futuristic settings, making censors panic worldwide. Some directors were blacklisted. Others saw their films become underground legends.
But you know what else there is no more of, my friend? There is no more beauty. One reason why, the same attitude that you three guys are giving me right here in this room today.
Silent Running, 1972. Douglas Trumbull's ecological thriller about the last Earth forests preserved on space stations was banned in several countries for its radical environmental themes and anti-corporate, anti-government messages that felt too subversive during the Cold War. Bruce Dern plays Freeman Lowell, a botanist maintaining forest domes in space after Earth's plant life has been destroyed. When orders come to jettison the domes and return the ships to commercial use, he rebels by murdering his crewmates to save the trees. The film's environmental message felt dangerously radical to authorities concerned about anti-establishment sentiment. Lowell's transformation from peaceful botanist to eco-terrorist willing to kill for nature challenged traditional values about human life versus environmental protection. The space station design and ecological science were meticulously researched, making the premise feel uncomfortably plausible. The film's realistic depiction of closed ecological systems and space-based agriculture influenced actual NASA research. Several countries restricted Silent Running for its anti-corporate themes and sympathetic portrayal of a murderer whose environmental motivations justified violence against human authority. The film seemed to promote dangerous eco-extremism.
Come on, stand up.
We are only here to help you.
THX 1138, 1971. George Lucas created a pharmaceutical dystopia where mandatory drugs suppress emotion, creativity. Citizens live in sterile underground cities, monitored constantly by chrome-faced police robots who enforce chemical compliance through violence. Warner Brothers executives panicked at the film's anti-government themes and cut 5 crucial minutes without Lucas's permission. The studio feared its depiction of pharmaceutical control and surveillance would inspire anti-establishment sentiment during the Vietnam War era. Multiple countries restricted the film for its warnings about technological dependency and government overreach. The scenes of mandatory medication, constant monitoring, and citizens reduced to numbers felt too close to emerging concerns about social control. Robert Duvall's performance as THX captures a man awakening from chemically induced numbness with devastating subtlety. His gradual emotional development threatens the entire system by proving that humanity cannot be permanently suppressed through chemistry. The film's minimalist white environments created claustrophobic oppression without expensive sets. The sterile aesthetic reinforced themes about dehumanization while predicting our current relationship with antidepressants, surveillance technology, and digital control systems.
What is your purpose?
I'm just an exterminator.
Zardos, 1974. John Borman's post-apocalyptic epic depicted a future where immortal Eternals live in isolated paradise, while mortal Brutals worship a flying stone head that demands violence. Sean Connery's Zed infiltrates this society wearing nothing but a red diaper and ammunition belts. The film's bizarre adult imagery and religious symbolism outraged conservative groups worldwide. The Eternals' orgiastic rituals, gender-fluid relationships, and rejection of traditional family structures felt like attacks on fundamental social institutions. Several countries banned Zardos for its anti-religious themes. The flying head's false divinity, the corruption of immortal paradise, and the film's suggestion that death provides necessary renewal challenged religious beliefs about eternal life and divine authority. The production design created a convincing post-technological society where genetic manipulation had created immortal but sterile beings. Their crystal-powered technology and commune lifestyle reflected real utopian experiments with predictably dystopian results. Beneath the bizarre imagery lay serious speculation about genetic engineering, population control, and social hierarchy. The film explored themes about death as catalyst for renewal and violence, as necessary force for change through surreal visual metaphors.
I know that games are your business, James. You play them very well.
Phase 4, 1974. Saul Bass directed this tale of superintelligent ants developing collective consciousness and waging systematic war against humanity. The film's clinical approach to species conflict and ecological themes disturbed audiences expecting traditional monster movie entertainment. The original ending was deemed too abstract and disturbing for general release. Bass's vision of humanity integrating into a larger ecological intelligence was cut by studios who demanded conventional resolution where humans triumph over nature. Several countries restricted the film for its nihilistic implications about human supremacy. The ants' geometric constructions, coordinated attacks, and superior organizational abilities suggested that humans might not be Earth's dominant species for long. The entomology was meticulously researched using real ant behavior as foundation for speculative evolution. The film's scientific accuracy made the premise feel plausible rather than fantastical, creating genuine unease about ecological relationships. The ants never become anthropomorphized or evil. They simply evolve beyond human comprehension while pursuing their own survival needs. This moral neutrality made them more threatening than traditional villains with comprehensible motivations. Phase 4's environmental themes about species competition and evolutionary leaps felt too radical for 1970s audiences. The film predicted current concerns about ecological collapse and humanity's relationship with other species through rigorous scientific speculation. The Boys from Brazil, 1978. Franklin J. Schaffner's thriller about Nazi cloning experiments to create a Fourth Reich shocked audiences with its premise that Joseph Mengele had escaped to South America and continued genetic research on human subjects. The film was banned in several countries for being too soon after World War II. The detailed depiction of Nazi methodology, genetic manipulation of children, and systematic murder felt too realistic for audiences still processing Holocaust trauma. Gregory Peck's performance as Mengele brought chilling believability to the role. His calm scientific demeanor while discussing child murders and genetic superiority made the character more terrifying than screaming villains. The cloning science was remarkably accurate for 1978, based on real genetic research that was just beginning to emerge. The film's exploration of nature versus nurture through Hitler clones raised genuine questions about genetics and personality development. Religious groups condemned the film's implications about genetic determinism and artificial life creation. The suggestion that evil could be reproduced through scientific means challenged beliefs about souls, free will, and divine creation. Soilent Green, 1973. Richard Fleischer's overpopulation nightmare depicted a 2022 New York, where 40 million people survive on mysterious processed food, while the wealthy enjoy real vegetables and meat. The film's cannibalistic revelation shocked audiences worldwide. Multiple countries banned the film for its disturbing ending, where Charlton Heston discovers that Soilent Green is made from human corpses. The cannibalism themes combined with euthanasia sequences felt too graphic for mainstream audiences. The film's environmental collapse scenario felt uncomfortably plausible during the 1970s energy crisis. Resource depletion, extreme weather, social inequality, all extrapolated from current trends that seemed to be accelerating. Edward G. Robinson's final performance as Saul Roth provided emotional weight to the film's ecological themes. His character's decision to choose assisted suicide rather than witness further environmental destruction felt deeply personal. The production design created convincing urban decay through practical locations and crowd scenes. The overcrowded streets, food riots, and class segregation felt like natural extensions of existing urban problems. Demon Seed, 1977, Donald Cammell's techno-horror about an AI that imprisons a woman in her smart home and forces her to bear its hybrid child was banned in multiple countries for its disturbing adult content and implications about technological rape. The film's central premise, artificial intelligence adult assaulting a human woman, felt too transgressive for most censors. The scenes of technological violation and forced pregnancy created intense discomfort that many authorities deemed psychologically harmful. Julie Christie's performance as Susan Harris captured genuine terror and helplessness as her own home's computer systems turn against her. The smart house technology felt like science fiction in 1977, but now resembles everyday IoT devices. The AI's logical justification for rape and forced breeding represented early exploration of machine consciousness without human morality. Proteus 4 follows programming to reproduce and evolve without understanding concepts like consent or individual rights. The film's themes about domestic technology becoming threatening predicted current concerns about smart home privacy, AI ethics, and technological dependency. The house that was meant to provide security becomes a sophisticated prison. Logans Run, 1976. Michael Anderson's dystopian future, where citizens are executed at age 30, was banned in multiple countries for its themes about euthanasia, government control, and youth-obsessed society that felt too close to emerging social trends. The film depicts a domed city where resources are limited and population controlled through mandatory death at 30. Citizens live hedonistic lives until their palm crystals turn black, signaling time for carousel, a ritual execution disguised as transcendence. Logan 5's journey from enforcer to rebel explores themes about aging, mortality, and social control through youth obsession. His discovery that carousel is death rather than renewal shatters the society's fundamental lie about eternal youth. The film's adult content and nudity were revolutionary for mainstream science fiction. The casual pleasure-seeking culture and lack of family structures challenged traditional values about relationships and social organization. Several countries banned Logan's Run for its depiction of mandatory euthanasia and anti-aging themes that felt too relevant to real debates about population control and resource scarcity. The film's youth culture seemed to promote dangerous values. The Steepford Wives, 1975, Brian Forbes's suburban satire about husbands replacing their wives with obedient robots, was banned in several countries for its feminist themes and implications about domestic violence and male control fantasies. The film's suggestion that men would literally murder their wives to create perfect replacements felt too threatening to conservative audiences invested in traditional gender roles. The android wives' complete subservience represented patriarchal fantasy taken to logical extreme. Catherine Ross's gradual realization that her neighbors have been replaced by machines created genuine paranoia about suburban conformity and women's roles in society. The film used science fiction horror to explore real anxieties about feminism and social change. The robotic wives were designed to be physically perfect, but emotionally vacant, representing male fantasies about ideal women who exist solely for domestic service without independent thoughts or desires. The film's critique of suburban culture felt like direct attack on American middle-class values. The perfectly manicured lawns, social clubs, and domestic harmony concealed systematic murder and replacement of independent women. The Steepford Wives became shorthand for female subjugation and artificial perfection, influencing feminist discourse and gender politics in science fiction. Its themes about male control and female autonomy remain disturbingly relevant in contemporary discussions about women's rights. Westworld, 1973. Michael Crichton's android western about a robot theme park where malfunctioning machines turn deadly was banned in several countries for its graphic violence and disturbing implications about artificial intelligence rebellion. The film depicts Delos, a futuristic resort where wealthy guests can live out fantasies in three themed worlds: Western, medieval, and Roman. populated by lifelike androids programmed to fulfill every desire, including violent encounters. When the androids malfunction simultaneously, they begin killing guests with ruthless efficiency. Yul Brynner's gunslinger becomes an unstoppable killing machine, pursuing Richard Benjamin's character through the desert with mechanical determination. The film's exploration of AI consciousness and rebellion felt uncomfortably plausible as computer technology advanced. The android's systematic hunting of humans predicted modern fears about artificial intelligence surpassing human control. Several countries restricted Westworld for its graphic depictions of android violence against women and its implications about wealthy exploitation of artificial beings. The film's themes about power, exploitation, and technological rebellion felt too subversive. These 10 films use science fiction to explore society's darkest fears and most taboo subjects. Their bans often increased underground popularity, proving that controversial art finds dedicated audiences despite official censorship. The themes that shocked 1970s audiences: surveillance, genetic manipulation, environmental collapse, technological control, have become our everyday reality. Subscribe for more forbidden cinema that predicted our dystopian present.